Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Reality Unloaded podcast, where we'll be covering the Challenge All Stars 4, episode 12, the final. We made it. It's your girl, Keeks.
It's Lina D.
And I'm Brandon.
And again, welcome to the Reality Unloaded podcast. We made it to the final, everybody. I cannot believe we made it. It has not been a long season. It's been a good one to cover, but I'm so proud of us for finishing a season. So yes. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. All right. And make sure to share, comment, like, subscribe, and make sure to follow us on Instagram at Reality Unloaded Pod and Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok. And just be on the lookout for more stuff that we're going to be covering. We've been so happy to cover this season so far. It's been a good one. But let's get into this final because we have a lot to talk about. We have some things that we want to honestly say about this final because it did not compare to some of the other ones in the past, but it is what it is. So take it away, Lina.
Let's get into it. Okay, so the episode starts off where we kind of pick up from the cliffhanger that we had last episode with the elimination checkpoint results for Electric Star. As we know, someone's about to be eliminated. Keeks, break our hearts a little bit.
Unfortunately, the dark horse, the underrated player, the MVP, some might say, Derek, ends up getting eliminated. And it is so sad. I'm so sad to see Derek go. It would have been such a gag-worthy moment if he would have beat Laurel in this. It would have ate down. But it's fine. And then TJ.
Either way, though, he did amazing this season.
He did amazing.
So I'm excited to see him in future seasons going forward.
Yeah,
yes, sure. Derek. And we heard a little birdie told us, this is not going to be the last time we see you. But again, like, just super proud of all his work and how he's competed this entire season. This is definitely his best showing so far. Yeah, like I don't think Derek has ever done this well or has ever made it to the final, to be quite honest. So shout out to you, Derek. I hope you're proud of yourself and you're showing this season because, again, you did a great job. Because Derek is eliminated, TJ then discloses to the group that, surprise, surprise, the person that gets eliminated gets to give a star to another competitor in the final to give them an advantage in the final leg. How did y'all feel about that?
So I'll be honest, like looking back at it, it makes a lot of sense because you kind of have to be strategic in a sense with who you chose to form your relationships with throughout the entire season. So if or people in general didn't like you, don't expect any stars. So yeah. I thought it was a cool twist. I didn't like the results of the twist, but Lina, I'll let you give your thoughts.
I do agree. I wasn't very happy about the results, but one thing that I was happy about is that they didn't tell the competitors ahead of time that this was going to be part of the final. So it was really good to kind of see, because I'll be honest, a lot of these individuals who are eliminated, I was a bit surprised about who they gave their star to. Some were more, you knew that was going to happen, but it was an interesting twist. The first time we saw it, I agree with Brandon. I wasn't a fan of the results, but that's for another day.
And the results were Derek gives it to Laurel, who he was up against in being eliminated. But gives it to Laurel because he would love to see Nicole or Laurel win. To represent for the queer community. And shout out to the queer community. Shout out to the Alphabet family. Happy Pride. It's still Pride, okay? Don't forget. But I get that. And he has expressed that him and Laurel did build a bond throughout the house, so it does make sense. And then we move on to the checkpoint, which is Spicy Foot. And to be quite honest, the rules of the game, pretty much they had to eat peppers from a line and try to like balance it or like get them lower so that they get in their mouths. And it was just ridiculous to me. I genuinely felt like they could have just given to them in a platter or something, or with a smoothie.
Yeah.
Why do they have to take it from a line? And then we see them all struggling. Steve says that he's Thai, so he's not fazed by the spiciness of the peppers. And Nicole ends up winning this moment thanks to her mom, because her mom used to put hot sauce on everything, I guess, for her to stop sucking her thumb or something, right?
Yeah.
Which is okay, like that actually tracks. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, Nicole, thumb sucker. Okay.
That works.
Well, how did y'all feel about this spicy foot checkpoint?
The math is mathing with Nicole. I'm just gonna add that comment in there. Go ahead, Brandon.
I agree with you. I think overall, if the peppers were gonna be spicy, just put them on a plate. We've seen it done before in different challenges and finals, so like it wouldn't have been anything different. But I feel like the whole like marionette aspect of the game, like, yeah, it added like something to it. But again, if the peppers are gonna be spicy, they're gonna be spicy. So I feel like it could have just been a pepper eating challenge.
Yeah, production is definitely trying something new with this like final that we haven't seen before. I don't necessarily know that I'm a huge fan of it, since again, I don't feel like the competitors are really being put to the test to show up this final. Like, we see them sitting around waiting for the next individual to complete. I know that, you know, they really wanted to make it an equalizer final and everyone kind of get a chance to like shine, but at the same time, it's just too slow for me.
Way too slow. I don't know. I feel like they could have just done something better. Like, okay, like if you eat 3 spicy peppers, then like you get to place some extra spicy pepper on somebody else's plate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like do something, or give them like a taller glass of the smoothie that they would have to finish, that production loves so much. I just felt like they could have made it more spicy and like strategic in that sense, and like actually, you know, had these people going against each other. Like just eating peppers, like come on, we've seen better things.
Or like run a lap after you eat a pepper, maybe.
Right.
Like, so some endurance, like,
yeah,
run a lap, and then if you run a lap,
thought.
you could pass a pepper to somebody. It was just something like, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, Nicole pulls off the win, and then she gets the advantage for the next checkpoint. And then go ahead, Lina. We go into the elimination checkpoint.
Yeah, so we go into balance for survival. So I could break down the game rules. So one at a time, the players will grab a cup of water and they're putting it in the middle of a balance platform that's attached to their body. Basically, they have a kind of another marionette type of game where they need to bring the platform upwards so they can catch the water in their mouth and spit it into a tube attached to their shoulder. The goal is to get the water all the way to the line on top of the tube, and the last one to fill it up to the line is out. You mentioned Nicole had an advantage, and really her advantage was the line was lower than everybody else on the tube so that she can fill it faster. Brandon, how'd you feel about this game?
Again, another carnival game in a final. Like, I feel like honestly, watching back all these little carnival games, this could have been one daily challenge in my eyes. Like, yes. I've seen harder daily challenges than this, and I get it because they want to bring back the nostalgia of the older seasons of the challenge and maybe give that to the viewers as we watch. But I was let down. I really did not care for this game. Again, make it maybe something more difficult where they're drinking, I don't know, like a bad smoothie, like something. Like I just felt like it was too easy in my eyes.
Cara Maria was damn near drinking the water half the challenge. Like, I was just like, okay, so it's not even gross water. Like, she's over there hydrating. I was confused.
Was it just water?
It was.
It was like dyed, right?
I think it looked like Gatorade.
Yeah,
maybe he called it water, but again, she was damn near drinking it. So I
don't know. Maybe they just dyed it with red dye to like so you can see where it ends up on the line.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Fair.
Yeah, I was not a fan of this either. I don't know, like I'm like there's something about like spit and like it just really bothered me, like all that spit that they were getting in the tube and like it getting all over them. And yeah, again, like I get it, like y'all love the carnival games. I get it. CBS's influence is strong on y'all. But I am so disappointed at like these carnival games. Like I'm actually so upset at this final. It just feels so wow. I cannot believe we waited 15 months, watched 2 other seasons,
Yeah.
and then this is the final that we got for this. Like
And then
I
for a Laurel and Cara Maria
wait,
showdown, something that we've been waiting to see when one is not injured at this point and they're at their
right.
peak. Like, let's come on, give us some physical stuff. I don't know. But speaking of Laurel, she actually ends up killing it and she comes in first. And everybody is trickling their way to the line on the tube. And then we see that Leroy and Veronica are the final two that are left, and they're both struggling. And it was funny because we also noticed that like Laurel and Nicole are like really pulling through for Veronica. And it just made me think
Hard.
back to, yeah, it made me think back to like all the times that Veronica played Leroy in different challenges. So it was just a funny thing to see. But what did you guys think about that?
I knew that they were gonna try to help V because they could beat her, and like they
Yeah.
needed to get Leroy out. He was already doing well and started off pretty strong in the finals. So in the first half, but I was also like, Leroy, what is going on? Why are you not catching up? Like, I know that he was
Yes.
struggling to like get it to balance, but I don't know. I was just like so annoyed, and I was just like pissed off that I don't know. I guess like because I knew that Veronica wasn't gonna make it, like or win. I was just like disappointed. I was like, ugh, I just feel like that should have been Leroy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And we definitely see him struggling through the end. Unfortunately, he does come in last place. Tier, and he has to give his star away. And he says that he doesn't even have to think long or hard about it. Brendan, who does he give his star to? And did you guys expect it?
So I was actually surprised. He ends up giving it to Steve. But I think he made like he made a point that Steve also worked really hard this season, and
Yeah.
he respected him, if I remember correctly. So it in that aspect it made sense. And I didn't really see him giving a star to like Cara or somebody, which actually I have a note
Yes.
about. I have a note about that. Cara was on the Anissa and your favorite person, Keeks Tori podcast, the challenge podcast.
Mhm.
And she had actually mentioned that if she were to lose and go somewhere or get eliminated, she would have given her star to Leroy. And they were kind of surprised by that. And she was saying, well, again, remember when Cam left, I had that conversation with her of like, I'll take care of Leroy, no problem. Like I don't have anything against him. And she said, if I don't win, I want to see Leroy win because I know they have a baby back at home, and so I thought that was
Nice.
interesting to hear.
What I thought was interesting was her saying, "I love you,
I
Lee,"
love you, Leroy.
and I was like,
You
"Okay,
think
now
that
you're trying to
too.
get that star. Now you're trying to get
Yeah.
that star, girl."
But I
Which
knew
I
she
mean,
was not going to get it. I knew he was
yeah,
not
me
going to
too.
give it to her.
Me too. I
But
felt like he was gonna give it to I would have honestly would have saw him give it to Veronica since they won something together, or he would have given it to Steve because it looks like he had built a rapport with Steve, and like he said, Steve did go through a lot this season. He was in eliminations, and even when he didn't think he was gonna have to go in, so I totally understand that.
He
um
deserved it,
yeah,
hands
he did.
down.
And Steve is obviously super like surprised by this. and he's touched by this moment. He's like, wow, like I feel a little fuzzy inside. And I said, oh, Steve. So then it comes down to Steve having 2 stars. Laurel has 2 stars. Veronica, Cara, and Nicole only have 1. Oh, and Ace only have 1. And then we move on to the final advantage checkpoint, which is called Hose Ball. And can I say something real quick? Why the hell did they center this about firefighters? Like, y'all knew a firefighter was going to be here.
I thought the same thing. Well, technically, 2 firefighters.
2 firefighters because of Jay.
Mm-hmm.
If Jay would have stayed here, this would have been easy for Jay and Nicole. I mean, granted, we see that Nicole didn't win this. That
didn't matter. Yeah.
But anyway, so the game rules is that they play in pairs, and pretty much they have to hose down the ball to enter another pair's goal. And the first pair to score 2 goals in their own assigned goalposts will win an advantage in the next checkpoint. So then obviously we see the pairs are Ace and Cara, duh, Steve and Veronica, and Laurel and Nicole. People that have pretty much been playing with each other the entire time. But then TJ drops something and he says the next checkpoint is the double elimination. So it is important and imperative that y'all win. And we see what happens. Steve wants to help Cara and Ace win, and he knows that Nicole is a firefighter, so he's like, we going for Nicole, point blank, period. How did y'all feel about
Which is
Steve?
very smart. It's very smart because if Laurel were to get another star, she's again just climbing her way up, and she's paired with Laurel. So like, it was very smart for him to want to help her win.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love Steve for that. Like, again, I think Steve has been close to Ace and Cara throughout the season. I'm not gonna lie, I loved Nicole's reaction. Like, why are you playing like that? Like, I was just like,
you're playing like, so dirty. You're playing so dirty. And she called him a bitch and everything.
Yeah, I think she was getting really mad because this was supposed to be her game to win, and she was just pissed.
But it was weird. It was her game to win, but yet the first person to hold the hose was Laurel, not her. Like, I was shocked by that too. I don't know.
Listen, her calling Steve a bitch.
Like the final make it make sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. But then her calling Steve a bitch, I said, now somebody else calling Steve out of his name. What's good with y'all? What's going on? Like, you can't win it all, baby. I'm sorry. So Ace and Cara end up scoring first. Nicole's upset, right? She's pissed off. She's calling Steve all types of bitches. And then Ace and Cara score again and win. And then they have the next advantage at the next checkpoint. And then now we get to the double elimination. Go ahead, Lina, break it down for us, the double elim.
Yes, so the double elimination is Bluff Night. So each player has a turn picking a game they want to play. There is a total of 3 rooms, and each room can only be played twice before that room is locked. After the player returns from the game, they get to pick the next player to start the challenge. So really, the person who starts the game, the first one, is really picking the order throughout the rest of, this elimination. The players do have an option to either disclose information, truthful or not, about the rooms. And then the 4 people remaining move on to day 2 of the final. So 2 eliminations. So Ace and Cara won. They get the advantage to go first. And Ace is like, Cara, this is your game. Go ahead, girl. You go first. So we see Cara Maria get to pick her first game. I have to say, Ace, you have looked out for your little sister in this game all season long. Like that. Listen, again, it's a final. You're the one who got both of the balls in the goal in the previous advantage. Like, I have to say, like, stand up guy. He really gave that to Cara. Do you respect it? Do you think it was a wimpy move? What are we thinking?
No, I think, again, just like everyone else is dependent on those stars based on their relationships. I think Cara has also looked out for Ace when she could, and she's also looked out for Steve when she could. And I think she pays it forward when she could. So I think it makes sense.
How about you, Keeks?
I agree. And it was expected. I wasn't expecting Ace to go first or, you know, allow himself to go first over Carl. I think he knew, especially with Carl's experience, that she was gonna look out for him anyway and tell him like what he should go for anyway. And she did.
Yeah, she did. She did.
What
So,
I-
Brendan, why don't you break down the rooms for us? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say what I was surprised by were these rooms. So in the first room, we see a room called Nailed It, where they have to basically hammer down 3 giant nails as fast as possible. The second room, which in my opinion looked the most difficult and risky, was called Marble Blast. And you basically have to guide a ball down. Think of it as like in mini golf when you have these structures blocking your ball. You have to guide a ball down the path to the opening at the end of the obstacle course. And then the last room was called Firearm. And basically, you put your arm on fire, and then you have to ignite these hanging stars. And then you have to throw the 4 rope balls that are soaked in kerosene at the flaming stars, so then they light up on fire. So the order that we see it go in is Kara and Ace going first. So Kara, obviously, we know she's gonna see all of the rooms and decide what she wants, right? So she sees the rooms and she basically confirms that she wants the firearm room. And then she does it, and she does it well. And then she comes back and whispers to Ace and Steve some information that'll help them out to then go ahead and decide which rooms they want to do. What did you guys think of this strategy?
I loved it. I said, yes, Kara, like make it seem, well, everybody knew that she was obviously going to tell Ace, but what I did love that she told Steve to act like he's comforting her as if like she performed really bad in her room. And I was like, okay, this is really good. And you could tell like Laura was looking at her sideways, like, what the hell is she doing? You know, but I really like that strategy. And it just goes back to like, you know, people being smart, like in the moment, like when Leroy was pretending that it really hurt in the first half of the final, and it ended up hurting a lot of the other people that did do it. So
except for Veronica.
Except for Veronica, right? Because the shorty is
Shorty's experienced, apparently.
Right, experience at getting shocked. I said, okay, masochist much? But yeah, I thought that was really smart.
And we see Nicole like trying to pry out information from Steve, from Ace. So it definitely kind of creates this anxiety setting for all of the players who don't have information, with the exception of Veronica, who was yawning her night away, being exhausted. So yeah, but it definitely was a good strategy. I was surprised at Veronica for selecting the room that she selected. I was surprised that her and Nicole selected the marble room.
Yeah,
especially Nicole. I was surprised she didn't hammer.
I think they thought, and if they were smart, because clearly I think they were not thinking strategically, a lot of them. If they were smart and Laura was last, I definitely would have put her in the what was it called? The marble ball or marble blast room.
Yes.
Because that would have been the potential elimination for her.
There's no skill there, right? Like there's a chance of it's
all
really
luck.
up to chance. Yeah.
So literally I would have given that to her because she would have definitely not have done it as fast. Now I have a question for y'all, because we see them starting to do this part of the final around what, like 9-10, like around 8 to 10 p.m. time, and then by the time it's Laurel's turn, it's about 3 something in the morning.
Yeah.
How did y'all feel about this being kind of like their all-nighter as well?
I mean, I think it's definitely like it was one of the most egregious parts of the challenge or the final.
Yeah.
I feel based on everything else that we've seen, but I liked it because I feel like it kept them anticipating and getting anxious about what it could
Mhm.
possibly be if they didn't know about the rooms. So that was one thing I would say I liked about the final.
I would
Mhm.
say absolutely boo. Boo, no, not okay. What happened? They were sitting on chairs. What?
That
Not
is
even
true.
standing
That
on
is
like
true.
a tree trunk, like a tree stump or something with one foot. Like you're sitting on chairs. No, no,
Yeah, I felt like
cry.
something else could have been done, but I guess they at least got to stay up late. Whatever. So Ace and Cara end up doing the firearm. Stephen Laurel do nailed it. Veronica Nicole do marble blast. Veronica's lucky as hell that she got it in that fast. I will say that. Nicole looked like she was there forever, but yeah, I do agree with y'all. Laurel should have been in the marble blast. Like, why did they? Nicole, come on, you went before Laurel.
Yeah.
Why didn't you choose that? So odd. And then yeah, Nicole trying to pry the information out of them. I was like, girl, stop trying. You haven't even fucked with these people majority of the season. Why are you even bothering? What makes you think that they're
They
going
don't
to let you know anything?
make
Them?
it make sense.
Them? Like, let's really talk about it. Steve, Ace, who has been Carl's ride or die this entire season, and
Well,
Steve, who does not talk to anybody like that.
But I thought Nicole was friends with Ace.
I think they're cool, but like
They're cool, but they're not like friends.
They're not
Like
tight. They're not tight like Cara and her.
You're my acquaintance, but like I'm not cool with you like that.
I thought for some reason I thought this season they were friends because of like that scene where Ace and not Ace, but Steve and Cara were talking, and Nicole approached Cara like, "Why are you talking to him?" Like, so that's anyway. Whatever the case may be, Laurel went in pissed and Chick hammered the hell out of those damn nails. And we had Veronica, Nicole get eliminated. Surprise, surprise. Our Marble Blast players got eliminated. And they both gave their stars to Laurel. I mean, Nicole's not a surprise. But Veronica,
I mean, if Nicole didn't do that, then I would look at Nicole sideways, like, wow, you really played this girl.
Oh, but that would have been
better
great.
have done that.
That would have been great.
That would have been
but
crazy.
If she would have given it to Cara, I would have gotten.
She's already in question. She's already in question, so it was good for her to do that. But Veronica, if I already heard that Laurel has all these stars, I would think she would want to give it to like Steve or Ace, people that she's seen back in the day, and have them potentially win it, as opposed to like Laurel, you know? Like it was confusing.
But that makes me think that maybe Ace and Steve were not talking to her.
Maybe
they didn't have that relationship, because why else would have Veronica done that? And I think Laurel did also a good job at protecting Veronica, because remember, Veronica, her girls left a minute ago, so she has to lean on somebody that is much more stronger.
And there had to be some kind of relationship built between Veronica and Laurel that we didn't necessarily get too much insight on, because remember, even when it came to saving Tina, like Veronica was the one to go speak to Laurel. So
I think they've always been cool, but maybe this is the first season that they've like actively worked together, from my experience or what I can think of. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So now Laurel has 4 stars. And at this point I said, girl, if you don't win, it's over. It's over. This might be one of your last finals that you'll ever make.
I'm sorry, girl. You had 4 advantages, and with the way you won,
I mean, I'm not gonna discredit.
I mean, look, don't take her win away from her. Yeah. She won because her social strategy came into play.
She did.
Because I like Laurel. I think she's a great competitor. I think she did a better job of having these relationships with people, and that is a part of being on the challenge. So I
Correct.
won't take that away from her.
Okay, but
I'll take this win away from the producers for giving us this final.
oh no, absolutely not. I'm sorry, this was staged for her to win. I don't know how it was happening. I'm not going to try to put the tea
Probably.
out there, but the way she won and almost did not win by Steve, who was like twice her age. I'm gonna leave that there.
Steve is not
Wait,
twice her
not twice her
age.
age. Hold on.
Isn't Steve? All right, maybe that
No,
was
no.
They're a little closer in age.
Oh yeah, he's like 45. Okay. All right, sorry, viewers. I got real dramatic for no reason.
Whoa, I said
I was trying
she
to
is not
emphasize the
Flora.
point.
She's not Flora.
Okay.
Age
But
difference.
I don't think Flora's even twice her age.
No, I think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Maybe you're right. No, definitely not for twice. Because what?
No,
Flora's
because if she's like if Laurel's like 38, that would make Flora what? Do the math quick.
Well, anyway, as she's mathing at me,
14 years.
76,
14 years.
right?
No, because Flora's at like 53, right?
It's been a day, y'all. Let's not pull out.
Listen, it's hot as hell in Jersey. The math ain't mathing for us right now.
Nothing happened, period. Anyway, let's move on to day 2 of this final, y'all.
No, I need to know the age now. Like,
you find that age, baby girl. I'm gonna move on to day 2 of the final. Brandon, how does day 2 start? Or what are they doing for day 2?
So they basically start racing down a mountain on a scooter to a giant field that's a star carved out within it, right? And there's a star that has 5 games and 1 game at each point of the star, basically. The 5 games are called Drink It, where they have to eat a cockroach or take a shot of a mystery liquid, which also Ace made a comment and that he calls it frog vomit. There's another game called Connect It, where they have to build like a pipe puzzle, kind of like in a way of like a tangram, but like in a pipe formation, if that makes sense. There's a game called Rocket, where they have to pull 10 rocks out of a vat of mealworms and stack them on top of each other, which I didn't think looked that intimidating. And the stack has to stand for at least 10 seconds. And there's another point called Build It, where they have to build like an actual puzzle with pieces. And then the last one is called Swing It, which is the one where they had to basically get 3 rings on a hook while swinging. And to me, this looked the most difficult out of all of them. And then the players also learn that they have to play the game in laps. So for lap 1, you have to do game 1. In lap 2, you have to do game 1 and 2. In lap 3, you have to do game 1, 2, and 3, and so on. And you have to complete all 5 laps around the star loop in order to complete this and then move forward. Now, this is where the stars come into play. So, Lina, why don't you break it down for us?
Correct. So, with the stars, the players are allowed to use 1 star per lap to skip one of the games. So, Laurel, let's kind of give you that grand total again. Laurel is coming into this day 2 with 4 stars. Steve is coming in with 2. Cara and Ace only have 1. So at the end of the 5 loops, you get to pick up a key. There's only 3 keys. So we will see someone kind of get eliminated at the star loop portion. And once you complete the star loop, the players will race to TJ to claim the challenge prize. First place, $250,000. Second and third place split $50,000 for $25,000 each. What are our
which is
thoughts,
still
y'all?
a little nice,
Oh,
amount
pocket
for
change. It's
playing
cute.
carnival games. I'll take
She's cute.
25,000.
It's cute. It's cute. Like
um
you've been on vacation this entire time, kind of chilling, and then you leaving with some bread in
yeah,
your pocket. It's
I'm not
okay.
mad at it.
yeah. I think this I think it was okay. I wish there were more like where they're actually like you either using strength or endurance. I mean, granted, they were running around, so I guess they were using some type of endurance. But I wish it just wasn't all like crapshoot games, if I'm being honest. Because like the weakest person could have won this if they wanted to. And I
Yeah.
think for Laurel's win, she should have had the opportunity to like show off her strength or her endurance or whatever, not only just carnival games. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I
no, I
mean,
agree.
mhm. I mean, granted, I mean, we did find out that Laurel is injured during this time, so I will give her that as well. Like
Okay.
she was just pushing through it. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I just felt like I was over the carnival games, and yes, I get it. Like you want to make sure you have equalizers, but these are all pretty strong competitors, and I feel like production should also be prepared for the last few people or the finalists um to pretty much like orchestrate or organize these stages or checkpoints to match the strengths and abilities of the finalists. Like if
Yeah.
you notice that these people don't need to do these equalizers, like have something like plan B so
Yeah.
that you can switch it last minute, so it's more enticing, it's more exciting. Like yes, I am disappointed that we get to see Laurel and Cara in a final and this is what we get. What? And
Yeah.
granted, like I get it, like Laurel was injured, so thankfully she hopefully didn't injure herself even more, but I did want to see them in a more intense final.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how Laurel's injured, right? Do you
Yeah.
think maybe this impacted what they had in store for some of the games, and that's why they made it carnival games?
I think
Because if
so.
we remember correctly, when Kara had a broken hand, she still had to shovel
Punch.
and dig, right? They didn't
Oh,
change
right.
anything for that. And I think
I mean,
also Hunter,
mhm.
when he had a broken hand too, if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't near the final yet, I think, but like
When
he still
sorry
had
to
to do everything as well. Yeah, go ahead.
when Kara was had the broken hand, her elimination versus Laurel was having to punch a wall to make holes to climb up to hit the bell on top with a
But
broken
also
hand.
even how she got into that elimination was she had to shovel with CT if I remember correctly, and like obviously she couldn't do as much as she was a lot able to. So that's just what I'm trying to think. Did they do this because they knew that they wanted Laurel to win? And
No. Mm,
I don't
no, I
think they
don't think so.
I agree. I
no,
don't think I think the games were truly designed to be as simple as they were because again, multiple times throughout the season TJ said anybody can win this season. So I really think it was meant to be an equalizer. I just think that, being an all-star season, I want to see what these players got, like they're all experienced players, nobody is fresh meat. So I think we should have had a little bit of a harder final, even if it was something like where like overnight, they had to stand on a tree stump all night, or they had to hold a suitcase, something that might have not been as physically like strenuous for them, but at least had to like really challenge them
mentally
mentally.
challenging. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's my thoughts.
I
But
agree. I think that as well. And I just feel like in general I haven't really been receptive of the finals lately, even for All Stars and the flagship. Like, I just feel like they don't really know what direction they want to take it. And I get it, like they're figuring it out. They want to change stuff up, but I just feel like, okay, these last 3 finals in particular, they've like season 38, 39, and All Stars 4. I think it just shows that clearly this whole checkpoint thing and the equalizers is not really working in y'all's favor. And yeah, I think they need to pivot from this. Like, y'all need to make things much more strategic. Definitely push people to their limits. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they're being a little scared. Like, what happened? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when day 2 starts, we definitely see that Steve takes the lead going down the mountain. Laurel quickly catches up to be in second place. We see Kara actually struggling the most to get down this mountain with the scooter, which is understandable. Unfortunately, wasn't riding horses, so wasn't in her wheelhouse. But she did it. She got to the Star Loop. How do we feel everyone did at the Star Loop? So everyone kind of had their challenges. So, Keeks, how'd you feel Ace did?
I'm not gonna hold you. I blanked. I can't even tell you. All I can tell you right now is that Ace decided to stop doing what he was doing because he knew he just was not going to win. And then I remember him touching the roaches and freeing them and throwing them in the air like that. I said, what is happening? I remember, obviously, Laurel using her stars as she freaking should. But that she was stuck on the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
The snake, she was stuck on that one. And I was like, okay, finally a puzzle. And then Kara, she's also like struggling. Obviously, like you said, I remember the horse comment. But the main thing that I recall was Steve not realizing that he has to make another lap. And that's it. Like, I'm sorry. I was bored. For the most part, I was bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically came down to Steve, Kara, and Laurel. And Laurel just had the advantage of every loop putting a star.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this, put a star. I don't want to do this, put a star. But what I will say is that Steve and Kara definitely, they were catching up and they were not far behind from Laurel. But yeah, I think each one of them had their little struggles. I think Ace had the most struggle out of all of them.
I'm surprised by Ace. Like, he really, he was very stuck on the fact that he had to eat the cockroach. That my man, could not do the pipe puzzle to save his life. Like, he was really struggling. And I felt bad for Ace, I'll be honest, because I kind of wanted him to kind of come in the final. But
I like you. I like you, Ace. I like you, Ace, but I did not feel bad for you. I'm sorry. You know they be doing some Fear Factor shit in this.
Come on. Really.
Like, come on. They always be making y'all eat weird stuff. So I was like, okay, insects, roaches. I'm not surprised. Like, remember when they made Anissa eat that? When Anissa had to eat that nasty rat,
and it had hair on it, the snout.
I'll tell you this: I was not eating. I would have pulled the Tory and said I'm vegetarian. So
okay, but he's not Tory. He's not the production pet, so they wouldn't have cared anyway.
Yeah, very true. Anyway, yes, they all definitely had their struggles. Unfortunately, Steve's struggle might have cost him the game, where he forgot that he could only use 1 star per loop. And it kind of forced him to do that last game, swing it, which took some time, giving Laurel the opportunity to take the lead and be the first one out to the run towards TJ. Followed by Laurel, we have Cara Maria, who's now in second place, and Steve, who gets to pull that last position in third place. And we leave Ace in the dust with the pipe puzzle, freeing the cockroaches. So we have, we have an animal lover on our hands, y'all.
Well, funny enough, Laurel, who won, said that she was winning because, well, with the money that she was winning with, she was using it towards paying for her veterinary school loans. And I didn't even, I knew she was a vet, but I didn't know when she became a vet during her challenge career. But I thought it was a good reason for wanting the money because I'm sure vet school is very, very expensive.
And I think that's what TJ said, like, yeah, debt free or something like that because of that. I remember when he hugged her. But yeah, I think it was recent, within the last few years, that she became a vet.
What did you guys think of the Cara Laurel interaction? Like, I was surprised when I saw Laurel like cheering for Cara, and then like the comment of, you know, I would love to be your partner. Let's be rivals, varsity this time
Because
around.
let's be real, and I will say this: Laurel and Cara. I know that Rachel exists. I know that Evelyn exists. Laurel and Cara are the two top girls. So if they were paired together, they're gonna win. So yeah, I might not like you, but let me get you around, like pair me with you. Yeah. I think like overall they see what the competition is and they know how it is to work with someone that you don't necessarily like, and they know at the end it's about winning. And I think that's in their head, competition takes over for them. So like, as much as I don't like you in this moment, I'm gonna still cheer you on because I wanted to beat you. They wanted to beat each other. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, it was between Cara and Laurel. It wasn't about anyone else. I think Laurel said this with Bananas, where she was talking about wanting to be Cara, and Cara said it with Tori and Anissa, where she was talking about, like, I want to run against Laurel because I know Laurel is a GOAT. So, like, at the end of the day, they just wanted to go against the best to then go ahead and win for bragging rights.
I'm sorry. I am going to leave this here. I still don't think that was a fair Laurel versus Cara Maria competition.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you.
I love the checkpoints that are usually in a final because I think those will let someone kind of take the lead or fall behind. But the advantages that Laurel had it, I'm going to say it here, got her the win. Period.
I do think they should have capped the amount of stars that someone was able to win. So then it could have gotten tricky where, let's just say if Nicole, for example, if Laura already had 3 stars by that point, Nicole had to pick someone else to give the stars to. And that would have been interesting to see, because then it's like, okay, so who did I have these B-side relationships with? You know? I thought that would have been better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Or I'm wondering, like, why didn't they let them accrue the stars throughout the season then?
Oh, that would have been good.
And then I could take your star. Yeah.
And then
like,
steal people's stars. Yup.
Accrue the stars. Like, for everybody. And then, like, you're not giving a star. You could keep that star because that's going to help you in the final.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So,
I agree.
And I feel like if you lose all your stars, then you can't go to you can't go to the final.
Yeah.
Like,
no last minute little, like, here's a little picnic, figure out who's going to win the star situation. No. Like, if you don't have the star, like TJ originally said, then you can't make it to my final. That's it. So,
right.
But overall, I'm happy for Laurel. I think, you know, she won regardless. But I think
shout out to you, Lauren.
Overall, yes, shout out to you, Laurel. Overall, I definitely want to see you back on it, because if they're gonna do this with the regular or with the All-Star seasons, then I want to see you on the regular election. So, like, to basically do what I know that you're able to do.
Lina said, "Congrats, Laurel." She was so serious. Ain't no congratulations. She said, Laurel.
No. Yo, I love my co-hosts, but they be putting me in a bad light. No, I meant that from in there. Para mi corazón. No, congrats. Every win. Okay.
But if we're being honest, this as a Cara fan, this was either Cara or Steve's to win. If we're being
you know what it is. Let me just put some clarity.
Even your girl said that, by the way. Tori said that on the podcast. She said it to Cara.
Let me put some clarity here, right? I am not a Laurel hater. I actually was a huge fan of Laurel for many years because she's such a good, fierce competitor. I really am. I think the reason I'm upset that Laurel took this win is because it didn't actually showcase the beast that Laurel is in.
It didn't feel like a win.
Yeah, like it just felt too. I know that all of those people in the final could have really showed out, and I wish we would have seen that, because if Laurel had won wholeheartedly, kudos, chick. Like you did that.
Yeah.
Even Veronica in a final, I feel like since it's been so long that since she's made it to a final, she would have even showed out, because she would have been like, "No, remember me, bitches. Like, remember who I am." She would have pulled it out of herself.
Yeah.
I think it was just too, and I don't know if they have like, some liability clauses or whatever that they don't want to break when people hurt themselves. But I think overall they played it a little too safe for my liking. But yeah, that's why we're not the producers.
Yeah, no, I mean, oofed. I just think honestly, production did a disservice to this cast. I feel like this cast was really strong. They were entertaining, and I feel like in general, throughout the season, production could have done a better job at showcasing what was really going on in the house, set up a lot of the challenges a lot better. And I was surprised that we didn't get to see them in water, because we've been seeing them in water a lot this season. So I was really surprised there was no swimming involved. But yeah, I just feel like in general, production, you dropped the ball on this. Like Paramount, I'm not exactly sure what exactly stopped y'all from dropping the season when y'all were supposed to. The fact that this was filmed over a year and a half ago and we're just getting it now. And then, spoiler alert for those that don't like any spoilers, just skip this moment for like a minute. For these people that were on cast for All Stars 4 to then now be cast for season 40. So then while they're filming season 40, they can't even promote this show. Like, so they're not even able to engage with like their presence, how they're doing on the season like that, because they had to pre-record stuff. So it didn't look like they were gone away filming season 40. And I just think Paramount Plus, I just think in general, like, I feel like they did not promote it as much as I thought that they would have, considering like that the female cast was so strong. But yeah, that really bothered me. Like, I was just like, so this is what we waited for? Like, I'm not gonna lie, guys, like after this final, I really thought like end the show after season 40 and All Stars 5. Yeah. Just end it. I'm good. And like, I love this show, guys. Like, I've been watching this show since I was a kid, when I should not have been watching MTV, but the finals are not finaling. The challenges are not challenging. And to be quite honest, I wish like All Stars would be All Stars again or something. I don't know. I just feel like
I agree. And if you're gonna do All Stars, give us, the older people. And if you're gonna do the flagship, give us the older people that still want to do the hard competitions, and then people that actually want to compete. Don't give us these people that want to skate to the end. Like, or at least give us personalities. That's all we're asking for. Because I literally was rewatching Dirty 30, and it was just a good show because there were so many different personalities, and you could like someone but not like someone at the same time. But it was fine because at the end of the day, they were still competing and doing well. So like, I don't know. Just outcome.
Listen,
Well,
all we're trying to say is Paramount contract with Reality Unloaded podcast. We're happy to be your commentary on the side. We are more than happy to give you kind of the viewer feedback, the viewer wants and needs for the season. So reach out to us anytime.
Yeah. Hopefully y'all watching, hopefully y'all peeping what the people are saying, because it's not just us. Like, there's plenty of different YouTubers, different podcasts that cover this show, and I'm sure they would echo our sentiments, and they've been saying it longer than us because they've have established channels. And even your own cast folks, like, they've literally come out, they've done these interviews where they're letting it all out, and they're telling us, oh, I don't know why production didn't show this. I don't know why production didn't show this. Production didn't
you
show
know
this.
what? Laurel actually on the podcast with Bananas, she was saying, I wish production would have shown like the moments where I was telling Nicole, like, no, I don't want you. Because that, what we saw, she said, happened later on. So, like, she was telling Nicole, I'm good. I'm fine. And then she got to a certain point where she was like, all right, I'll just fool around. But it wasn't like she was like desperate to have Nicole again. And she was like, I feel like this character that they put out was not what actually happened. Like, even with the argument with Cara, she had said, like, I apologize right after. I wish they showed that. Clearly they didn't, and it looked like we just hated each other the whole time, but that wasn't really the case. And so I was like, yeah, I kind of wish we got like a little, you know how RuPaul's Drag Race does Untucked? Give us the Untucked version of the challenge. Why not?
I get you. Yeah. I mean, another thing, like, Ace just posted it today. He congratulated Laurel. And, but he also emphasized in that post, like, I wish they would show it, or they didn't show it, thankfully enough. But Laurel and I, we would butt heads a lot, and we would get into it. And I'm just like, okay. And then he obviously, wrapped it with a bow and said very nice things about her and said they are very similar. So that could be why they butt heads so much. But I would have never known with the edit that we got ever. So again, production, I just really hope that y'all get the support and, do better, because it's not looking good. Like, I hate that. And this season started so strong, and this cast was so enticing for so many of us. Like, we were so hyped. I was literally in the All Stars 4 hashtag on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and literally on that Bird app saying, like, where the is All Stars 4? I need All Stars 4. I was in the comments, everything. I know Brandon was in the comments with me. We're tagging each other and everything. Like, we wanted this. So for this to have fizzled out the way that it did, I just feel like it could have been a lot better. And I think
Or
Laurel
at
as the
least,
winner.
or at least, at the very least, like you used to do for, I don't even think used to. I think they did it for 39, where they gave us some hour and a half episodes, right? Am I wrong? Give us hour and a half episodes without the commercials. So I know it's extra editing and you probably got to hire extra people, but like, it's been on for 40 seasons. Like, it deserves it. So
Yeah. But congratulations to Laurel for winning. We're not going to like take your win away from you. However, production, that's not on you. That's on production. So congratulations to Laurel on your third win. Right? Third win. Second? Hold on.
Yeah, I think she only won one
the
before
second,
that.
She won Free Agents, and that's it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. But yeah, and Cara.
Yeah, Cara, definitely. I mean, you definitely were the star of this season. Thank you for all of the drama that you gave us. Ace, thank you for showing us what true friendship looks like and for looking out for someone, even when it's an individual game. Steve, thanks for being that humor throughout this season. Like, those little moments of laughter that you gave us really were everything. So,
and for being a great competitor.
Yeah.
For being a great competitor. Steve showed out
this was your
season.
best. This was your best season. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The final
Absolutely.
4 were deserved. Good for you.
Yes. Yeah, and the fact that they all made it to the end, like really, Ace got eliminated, but he just knew he wasn't gonna win at that point, so it is what it is. And I love the fact that like Ace told Steve too before he left, like, go get that money for your son, for your son, for your kids. Yeah, I mean, good season overall. I mean, I was entertained for the most part, and also with covering it with you guys. Obviously, we were like staying up to date with everything, seeing what people were saying on podcasts. I was like, bro, the challenge is my life now. But but yeah, did y'all think that this season, out of all the All-Stars 4s, not the All-Stars 4s, all the All-Stars, where would y'all rank All-Stars 4?
Honestly, I think because of how it kind of brought me back in a way to, like, I would say like era 2 and 3 of the challenge, where there was still fun, but there was still like strategic moves being played, and you saw people that actually wanted to win and not be scared to go down and get what they needed to get in order to advance themselves. I think I would place it. Oh, this is hard. I would place it probably like first or second out of all of them. I think it was All Stars
2.
Which one was the where John A won first?
John
2,
and
right?
MJ 2. Mm-hmm.
And MJ, yeah, that one was also really good. So
Yeah. I think that was
I
the
would
best
say it's
one.
between those two.
Yeah, I think that one is the best one. I would put this like 2.
I would say this, like I would say All Stars 2 had the better final. All Stars 4 was the better overall season. Like I was more interested in the cast.
Yeah.
But I like both of them. So yeah, definitely that's what I would switch if anything. And then All Stars 3 and then maybe 1 less. I don't know. Something like that. I think that would make more sense. But that is all, everybody. Do y'all have anything else y'all want to comment on this season? Anything else y'all want to discuss before we let it go for good?
No, I think I'm good. Just I feel like keep watching us because we're gonna be covering a lot of different shows. So and we have the upcoming challenge season for the challenge fans that we're also going to cover. So definitely stay tuned because there's definitely more.
And give us your recommendations. Like, let us hear from you. Like, what do you want us to watch so that you guys can come in? Let's talk about it, get engaged. We're into all of it.
And also be on the lookout because we're going to be covering the challenge All-Stars 40. I mean, season 40 and All Stars 5.
Damn, we already like 80 years old.
Right. Sorry, I doubt that show gonna be on for that.
We're double Laurel's age. That's
oh my god.
Yeah, double her age. Okay, but we are gonna be covering that, and apparently season 40, like you mentioned, Brandon, is gonna be coming up this summer or at the end of the summer. Like we should expect it in August. So be on the lookout for that. We do cover Drag Race. We had to take a little pause on that, but we're going to double up the episode like we've done before this Sunday, more than likely. Sunday or Monday if all goes well. So be on the lookout for that. And yes, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Reality Unloaded Pod and at Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok. Make sure to like this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to stay in tune with us. Thank you. And if we're not your faves, we will become your faves. Thanks for tuning in with the Reality Unloaded Podcast. Catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.